Listen, man.
All right, we got him.
We like to apologize.
For what?
To absolutely no one.
The two-time champ does absolutely fucking nothing.
Yo.
Okay, let's do it. Men Chafford Podcast episode 251 potentially? No, 252 surely.
252.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Men Chafford Podcast episode 252. The real is back. The real is back. I am him, Himmy Neutron, Himothy, two dems. I have to tell you guys every week, but I'm gonna tell you. Dancing DK, watch your back. I'm gonna pass it to my partner. Pause.
Colton AC, Doug Collier in the building, the one and only, aka L Coolins, aka C Note, aka Hollywood Cole, aka Doug Dad. Yeah, man. Coming for your left ear, right ear, surround sound, smart speakers, portable speakers, you name it, we are most likely there. Episode 252-ish Giddy.
It's Eman G45, G Solid Marine, 45 Silent,
Man.
Sprogway, Prince the
Yes,
East,
sir.
Simple Hat Eames. Yes, Black Mom Dove, GAM.
Yeah.
Yes, man. My God is better than your God. All praises to him, the most high. So, let's
Yes,
go.
sir. Let's go indeed. Lots to talk about. It should really be an in-person episode, but we're still gonna give our best to cover all of the topics, everything that's happened, going on. Where do you guys want to start?
I mean,
RDJ coming back? I got a lot to
Nah,
say on
let's
that.
start off with Deadpool, just because that came up first.
yeah, I was gonna say Deadpool as well.
Spoiler, how are we gonna try? I can't talk. You can't actually talk about this film without spoiling it. So I'm sorry if you haven't seen it at this point. Suck your mother. But
Wow.
no remorse, no remote controller. Yeah, nah, let's get into it. Great film. I saw it twice. I saw it again yesterday. I'm just as impressed, if not more impressed with it the second time round. I thought it might have the No Way Home impact, but it is a really good watch second time around. But they hit it out of the park.
Is it a great film?
I would say so. I was debating whether to say that, but now that I've seen it twice, I enjoyed it more the second time. I'll be honest.
Okay.
But I will say my expectations were on the floor. So it didn't have, do you know what I mean? As in, I'm just surprised it was even good that they stuck landing.
Yeah. I see your point. I mean, yeah, I agree with you. I'm gonna go watch it tomorrow with Soph, but yeah, man, I really enjoyed it. It's one of those films where, like, I see what you mean, man. Like, the structure of the film was like all over the place. The plot point
that made it better.
Didn't really make much sense, but in the grand scheme of things, it actually didn't matter because it was that entertaining. Like, the banter was good. The chemistry was like A1. The cameos were well, probably the best cameos I've seen in any.
Actually served the purpose as well. Actually served the story. It wasn't cameos for the sake of cameos. Incredibly well done, man. And as you said, the story is a bit bogus. It's higgy hagger, but I think it never mattered. I don't think I've ever watched a Deadpool film and thought, wow, excellent storytelling. You're really going there to see a tour de force in Ryan Reynolds. I think this is his best performance as the character. I was so impressed. I keep saying it, but yeah.
I think they got the balance right as well. Like, I remember when we watched Deadpool 2, we all walked out like, it was good, but it just felt like they just did too much. And the jokes were almost... I'm trying to think of another comparison. You know when you make a second film and like, 9 times out of 10, the second film is usually better. But I just felt like for the most part, they just did too much. And I actually didn't like
Yeah.
on rewatch, and one was actually really, really well done. So I feel like
Yeah.
this one had the better balance, and it's right up there, probably better than one. So yeah, man, hats off to Ryan Reynolds, and I think Hugh Jackman he is just Wolverine, man. Like he just does
Yeah,
it so
yeah, he
well.
is.
He does it so
He
so
could
well.
do he could do this in his sleep. Um, and yeah, the plot points were great. The cameos, I think that's a good place to start. Um, where with the cameos, what was your favorite cameo, and what was your least favorite cameo?
Honestly, I think Gambit killed me, bro.
Yeah, I'm so happy you said it. It was
I'm
perfect.
about to make a name, man. I'm about to make myself a name, man.
Real, yo, shout out to Remy and shout out to Remy LeBeau.
Be
Oh
like,
my
bro.
goodness. And then my man said, I'm trying to do this gently. Who's your dialect coach? Because at times it was us, at times it was spot on, but that
Yeah.
was the beauty of the voice. Oh man, Channing Tatum, take your hat off. That was incredible. When he asked him, "Are you ready?" He was like, "I shut up, my daddy ready," and I went into my mama. I was like, "Bro, what are you talking about?" But that was an excellent performance. I couldn't believe how well he'd done, and that was it was nice because I know he really wanted to play that character, that being Channing Tatum. He never got that opportunity before Fox was sold to Disney. I mean, Fox were dragging their feet to make the Gambit movie anyway, and it sounded like he was promised the world, but never got to do the role. So I was happy you got closure on that.
Let me just reposition the camera.
Is that better?
Yeah, yeah. I can now see your full face.
But yeah, that's how I
Pause.
feel on the Gambit. I don't think that was needed a
That's
pause,
not
but
pause, bro.
It still needs a pause.
Nah,
Some
that's
things
not
just need
pause, man.
pause.
Full face. What's wrong with that?
I need to see your full face. That's why.
Nah, I don't see it.
um,
Anyway, go on.
my favorite cameo was it was Blade, Wesley
Mm,
Snipes, because quite
Okay.
literally I wasn't expecting to see um and also X-23. Like I wasn't expecting to
yeah,
see both of them there. Um, but I think to be fair, I don't really have a favorite. All of them were amazing. Even Chris Evans coming back as Johnny Storm, like
yeah.
that in itself, that it was a bit of a mind. It was a bit of a mind fuck because if you really think about it, we've seen him for almost a decade as Captain America, and then now
Yeah.
we see him in the void, and we think, oh yeah, he's about to say Avengers Assemble, and even the music's playing in the background, and then we hear it say
Mm.
Flame On. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
mad,
that was hard as bricks, man. As someone who
yeah.
grew up watching those, loving those Fantastic Four films, you can't tell me they're bad. Um, that was a real special moment, and that's why I feel like it was the perfect end to certain characters who didn't get there, or certain arcs that didn't get their rightful end because of how it ended over at Fox and the characters that they had the rights to. So it really felt like the Fox side's end game, if to compare it to anything, and that was beautiful because those characters deserve to have their send off as well. And
And
that is
not only
basically
that as
the
well,
whole arc.
not only that as
Done.
well, like Chris Evans played Captain America so well, we forgot about
Mm.
Johnny Storm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
So
think
it
that
was just like,
everyone forgot what he could be there for.
yeah. So like to see him and then say Flame On, and then even like the mutant Pyru as well, that was amazing. Like him being there was just like, oh, okay. Like you guys really, really put some thought into this.
Mm.
Um Sabretooth, I wasn't really excited because I really like the
The one from
I,
2009.
yes. Yes. Because I think there was more depth in his character in terms of like the portrayal in the film of how Sabretooth was shown with the actor. I
Mm.
cannot remember his name. I know it's a
Leave Schreiber or something along those lines.
yeah, yeah. So him playing that character showed a lot more depth, whereas the first X-Men
Yeah.
film Sabretooth was just like he was just that type of guy. It was just, but to see him there as well, that was cool.
Yeah, it was just well done and nothing. I don't think there was a cameo that felt corny or forced. Yeah, I particularly enjoyed all of it. Carl, let me know what you think about the villain at the TVA. He was in what's that show we both kind of like?
Succession.
Yes, my man. He's a really good villain. Now, the second time around, he's hilarious. He's just hamming it up in every scene he's in. They said, "Yo, we just need you to go to a 10," and he went to an 11. Like, perfect. My
Yeah,
man is an absolute joker.
yeah, he's a good actor still, and I always forget that he's English, man, because obviously in
Yeah, he
Succession,
is.
man's
Yeah, yeah,
full on American accent, and even the character he plays in that, he's just like he's such a weasel, bro. And
yeah, yeah,
yeah, he does. He's a good actor. I feel like they they incorporated the MCU well, and his character served a good purpose. And for the most part, I actually also enjoyed the actual villain, the Wolverine, sorry, Professor X's sister.
yeah, yeah.
I
So
think she
that.
did a good job for the most until like the ending. But like once you got to the end bit, it kind of became like normal super villain tropey, like, oh, I'm gonna take over
Yeah,
destroy the world. But before that, I kind of got her motivation. But
yeah.
yeah, I think for
I
the
was,
most
I was
part they
up with
landed
it.
that ship pretty
Yeah,
well. Um,
100%. There wasn't much. Yeah, I'd have a real hard time um picking out flaws, which there are. It's odd to say that a 2 hour film feels long. It does. That last bit does drag a bit, but I think it's because it falls into um the typical third act that a lot of superhero films have. So you've seen this story 1,000 times. The heroes have to try and stop the villain from completing their evil, ridiculous scheme. So yeah, the ending it does drag out, but I'm trying to think. There are maybe some other complaints that could be had. It might be a bit too inside baseball. So I think if you're not in this world, you'd have a tough time understanding what makes this film special. So I mean, for me, that's great, but I can understand how to a regular person who might not be as tapped in that it makes it difficult to watch.
Mm,
yeah,
mm.
100%. I told Sophie there's a lot of cameos you're not gonna get. Well, there's a lot of jokes you're not gonna get because you've not seen half of these films.
Mm,
I feel like she'll still enjoy it anyway. I think
yeah,
the greatest thing, which kind of took me off guard, is like it didn't even feel like an MCU film. It just felt like Deadpool 3. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like it had MCU elements, but it wasn't really an MCU film. And
yeah,
that we were a bit worried about in the build up. But I never thought that they would make a movie and take the thing that makes Deadpool special away from him because ultimately
yeah.
he's a character. So they gave him sweet
Look,
right?
I don't know him personally, but I do kind of feel like I put this that he wouldn't Ryan Reynolds wouldn't have done it if they said, "Yeah, this is you got to follow the MCU guideline." If they basically told him you got to make a movie to the level of Miss Marvel, I don't think he'd rather not tarnish the character that he's helped build up. They really kind of just let him do his own thing. You can tell that by even just the fact that this film has so much like licensed music, if that makes sense. Like to the point at the end, I was like, oh my gosh, how were they able to get that cleared? The film also, what people aren't talking about is that beginning bit where he dances to, is it NSYNC
Bye bye
or
bye.
Backstreet?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was
Yeah.
brilliant, man. That is a
That is one of the
great
best
opening scene.
opening scenes I've ever seen.
Oh my goodness,
He cooked,
yeah,
bro.
that for real. They said just, you know what? They just said, I'm gonna let you do your weird shit, get it cracking, and whatever the final product is, we'll put it out. Do your
Yeah.
thing.
And another thing to add to the film as well is we've seen different timeline versions of Wolverine himself. However, we've
Mm.
never seen an Omega level Wolverine. So like the fact that he has strength now. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you can pick up someone and dash him on a car. Like, I thought that was wicked.
I
I thought
know.
that
I
was
didn't think
amazing.
about that actually.
Because it like look, you quite literally he has adamantium. He's fast, he's strong. So adamantium itself is somewhat of a heavy material.
Has to
And then
be.
on top of that, like in this particular film, he's strong. Like he dashes man out of the car, he takes a man, throws him around. You know what I'm saying? Even the fight scenes between him and Deadpool, both fight scenes,
That man were
impeccable.
getting it cracking. Straight up
Yeah.
Tom and Jerry. No questions. My man said, I'm gonna fight you now. And then punch him square in the nose. I said, all right. Which
No, I think the first fight scene was like, all right, man, I don't know who you are, but let's just get cracking. The second one was mad personal. Was
yeah.
so personal.
He made an educated wish. I hear it.
Educated wishes. That's a nigga. That is crazy.
I don't blame Wolverine for being angry after that. What do you mean? I'm trying to get back home and you're talking about educated wishes.
Yeah, great film, man. It's gonna make a lot of money as well. It's on its way to a billion.
Oh yeah, that was an easy dub.
Definitely.
That had to, but it's breathed some life into the MCU, much needed life as well. But leave it to these clowns. I know they're gonna mess it up somehow. What's the next film we've got to look forward to? Captain America: The New World, Brave New World. He's
I
black.
think it's
Crack
gonna be
on.
trash. This is gonna be trash.
If he doesn't have we spoke about that in person?
I think I don't know. I think I have, but I think we have. Sorry, but I think in that conversation, no, because I watched a recent video and they said like, bro, they left the cinema. They had to rewrite stuff because it was just like
Wow,
it wasn't that good.
that
So
didn't
I
surprise
think
me.
the fact that they showed Red Hulk is like, yeah, like this is what we got, and that's it. So I
Oh
I
man,
don't
that's a
know
shame.
like what's really gonna happen. Um, I am excited for Anthony Mackie, to
Same.
represent America, but
At a time like this,
it's but you know what in the Olympics, you know what we see Americans being proud, so
yeah.
there's some
Shout
patriotism,
out to
but
Simone Biles.
shout out to Snoop Dogg too. But
Yeah,
you know, but
I thought he was competing.
back to this film in particular, I don't know, man. It's just we're gonna have to wait and see, and I think this is probably the last of because I think this was written just around the strikes. So
So
we
you
don't
think
know
the
what
quality is gonna drop
quality.
again?
I think this is the last film that Marvel's gonna say, yeah, this is like bad quality. Sorry, B.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
they
this is gonna
got.
be the last film.
They ain't got much more. I hate to see Giancarlo Esposito in a bad film, man. Guys are killing me over here. Harrison Ford would do anything for a check, so I don't even trust him. Um, and then what? Anthony's first time out is gonna be bad. You know what they're gonna say? I'm genuinely, they're setting him up to lose. As a black man, I can't watch this unfold. It's sad.
I think the trailer kind of gave me Winter Soldier vibes though. So I
Which is
reckon
good.
it might be decent. I'm not looking forward to it, but I'm also not like writing it off. It could be a good film. They just need to make sure
Yeah,
Yeah.
they land the plane in it. And I reckon there'll be a lot of build up to what's happening next. So let's
they
see.
have to give him the super soldier serum. I don't know who I spoke to about it, but I, I just can't watch that if he hasn't got it. And people can say that suit gives him added abilities. Give a fuck. If he don't, how is he fighting a Hulk? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I
But
don't know what else to
Iron
say.
Man did it with a suit.
Yeah, but that suit is kitted out,
Yeah, but what they give him
and
a kid out?
he
What
got
they
it.
give
He
him a
got
kid
it
out
crushed.
suit?
No. Wait. Iron Man suit. Iron Man had to go get a new suit. He had to call in. He had to call up Veronica and say, "Send me. There's a suit
Goliath.
designed to fight. There's a suit designed to fight the Hulk. That little flimsy shit he got from Wakanda, it ain't gonna cut it.
Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and see. I reckon my theory is he's going to get slapped up and then they're going to give him the serum afterwards, but we'll see.
Have to give it to him against his will. Do what you have to.
See, we talk about
Yeah, facts.
Robert Downey Jr. being Dr. Doom.
This is a bad idea.
Why do you think it's a bad idea?
Do you know what? As soon as I saw it, I was like, "Whoa, this feels desperate." Like it just didn't feel right. Eman put it in the chat, and I was just like, "I'm not sure about this." It felt wrong from the jump. He's he's too synonymous with one character as well. I really don't know how you flip this. What are you gonna say? What's the storyline? The fact that I have to think about it this way. See, this I'm gonna equate it to football. When your team signs a player, you just want it to make sense. You don't want to have to think, oh well, if he plays here, maybe it might work, or if he does this, or him and the manager used to work well together way back, so I could see it working. No, I just want Rice, 100 million. He's our CDM or our eight. Let's get it cracking. Robert Downey Jr. I'm having to ask too many questions in my head as to how is this going to work? And I personally, whenever I have to start doing that, I'm already like, this thing is a bad idea, or it's already on shaky grounds. Not to say he can't hit out of the park, but I said in the chat, he's been a phenomenal Tony Stark, but I don't know if his acting range allows him to do that. Because I'd even say the film he got the Oscar for in Oppenheimer, he was just playing, he was playing an extension of himself. Like it wasn't out of his realm. I didn't feel like, oh, Robert Downey Jr. was uncomfortable playing that. Just the impression that I've always had of Doctor Doom, that's supposed to be quite an operatic, almost larger than life character. Maybe the comic book people will say that's not what the character is, but that's how I've always interpreted it. And that's not Robert Downey Jr. If my man starts doing, I do not want to see Doctor Doom doing quips. Like, you know how he does the jokey joke thing? None of that. I'm trying to take over the world. It's silence. I don't think he has that in him.
I don't think he will quit though, because then he'll be Robert Downey. Then he'll be Tony Stark.
So what do you think what's their plan?
I don't know.
I think
go on, man. You go.
My assumption is that you know when Bucky kills the parents. I think this is going to be a situation where they reroute to Latveria, and Bucky catches them in Latveria, but Tony Stark is a child, like he's like a brand new baby, and the parents get killed off, and then he has to get raised by someone else, and then he gets called Victor Von Doom. And that could be a great storyline, but as far as Robert Downey Jr., I think he will smash the role. I think he would do the character justice. My only concern is that, as you said, for the people outside who don't know Marvel or anything like that,
yeah, there's that.
It's almost like, what is going on?
100,
but for the people
100.
who are in Marvel, they're gonna be like, okay, cool. But you could have recast Kang. You could have recast Kang as Robert Downey. You could have basically replaced Jonathan Majors with Robert Downey Jr. and then Peyton Black.
Hey, listen, Chafford Thunder is a great film. It's a great film. What was I going to say to your point? Yeah, again, this multiverse stuff is also just not working. I'm a little bit over it, and the only way they can do this is using the multiverse.
No, I think it's all the concept itself has always worked. They've just not done it right. So this is probably the only time they can ever perfectly execute something like this and make it bang. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like make it bang.
And my also another concern for me is it's 2026. It comes out. I'm a bit like, unless you might have been working on the script already, I don't know. You can't tell me you thought this through. This sounds like breaking case of emergency. Like it just seems like, fuck, we're in disarray. Even Deadpool says it. Welcome to the MCU. You're joining at a little bit of a low point. They're scrambling. And this is not, Marvel's had bad films, don't get me wrong, but they've never looked out of control. You know, they always seem that, you know what, there's a plan. We'll go to the next one. After Ant-Man and the Wasp came out, I think the next film is Avengers Endgame. So you always stayed the path. At the moment, I don't know how we're getting here. how we got to this point where we arrive at Avengers Doomsday and then Avengers is it Secret Wars? Uh, how do we how are we get into this place? That's also a concern for me.
I
But
think
just to add on to that, when did the Jonathan Major situation, the court case, when did that happen? Was it this year?
No, it was yeah, it was.
Yeah, so if it was this year, like very early on this year, then bro, they've had some time to obviously rewrite a script, gather their marbles together, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, but
But
when
2026, bro, I mean, that's
I
yeah,
just don't
it's
know when they're gonna
scrambling,
get the
scrambling.
opportunity when they're gonna get the opportunity to even sow the seeds of this. You've got Brave New World, that's done. Unless maybe they've written it in somehow that I don't know that they acknowledge that this is happening with Tony Stark or it leads into Doomsday. There's no signs that Fantastic Four does, and I think that's too much pressure to put on a film their first solo outing to say this is going to be our introduction to them, and it's also going to lead into Doomsday. I don't know if anyone can pull up the films that Marvel has next year, but this is just a scary position to be in. It's not. It's just not the right decision in my opinion. I'm happy to see we're getting Avengers films, but this
I think
call is disappointing.
I think the movie's going to be good.
I think there's a possibility, 100%.
The reason why I think it's going to be good is because Saint Donnie's done Avengers Endgame and Infinity
Yeah,
War.
yeah,
I trust Robert Downey Jr. as an actor. I think he'll do well, and I think he himself probably owes a sense of gratitude towards the MCU. So I don't see my man coming back just for the check. I know the check is going to be mad,
they gave him 80 million for 2 films.
but I think
I'm coming back. There's
no. Hear me out. But I think if they gave him 80 million to come back as Iron Man, he'd probably say no. Because I feel like it's not really a month. Like after a while, it's like diminishing returns. It's you're gonna give people peas, but like that comes with the territory. It's like when you sign Messi to like LA Galaxy. All right, cool, 80 mil. But man's still gonna ball out because he's Messi. I just feel like I think the underlying factors are a bit worrying, but I don't know. I like the concept of them making a movie about a villain. I mean, I like that about the Kang situation, even though the Kang build up to me didn't really bang that much. I didn't feel a sense of danger or escalation. Maybe at times
yeah, but I mean, look at the
after
film they
Loki
fucking put him in.
season 2, I was like, all right, cool, but I didn't feel like it was like a Thanos level thing. But I think maybe they'll probably tease him a bit in Fantastic Four because obviously he is their biggest villain. And I think
Mm,
the idea of it being the only way they pull this off is what I think Eman said is where they can't not they can't not have him be synonymous with Tony Stark in an alternate universe. They just can't because I feel like it's his man, it's his face, it's the brand. They have to position him as being like a broken Tony Stark, who's now
but,
been like, hang on,
but
that's
okay,
like a variant. So not necessarily the Tony Stark we know, but like a variant
mm,
who happens to be born in a different country, who's had everything taken away from him. I just feel like that's the best way to do it. If they were to now, people have this theory online saying that he'll have like a mask, he won't show his face, he won't do this, he won't do that. Cool, but does that translate well to a movie? I don't think so. I think with villains, you have to be able to give them the reason. All our favorite villains have personality, have motives, have
mm,
things behind them. Look at Thanos. Look at the Joker. Like you can't just have a man with a mask and a dodgy accent and be like, "Yep, that's Doom," and pay man 80 mil for it. I don't see Robert Downey Jr. nor Marvel doing it. There has to be because if that was the case, I would have given it to any man. You know,
Mm.
mm.
I just feel like if they pull this off, we could have an Infinity War moment that leads up into Doomsday because that kind of looks like sorry into Secret Wars because I feel like that's kind of the angle they're going for, and I feel like if they land the
Yeah,
plane everybody would be like, "Oh, right, that's the reason why they brought my man back." Because I feel like on paper, obviously it looks like a dodgy decision. It looks like desperation. But listen, if you've got enough cachet in the bank to tell these kind of stories in the past, who's to say they won't be able to pull off again? That's
no,
where I feel about it. I know people are like, oh my god, it's Robert Downey Jr. He's Iron Man, but I'm a bit like, I like a movie about a villain. It might bang.
And more importantly, he initially auditioned
He did.
specifically for Doom, and he was rejected, and they recast him for Iron Man. So that's crazy in itself. But one person that
maybe it
could
was always meant
play
to be.
Victor Von Doom is Terrence Howard, man.
Come on, man.
He could have been that guy.
Come on.
That would have been brilliant.
Because the thing is, 1 times 1 would equal 2 with magic.
He's
Think
bad
about
in
it.
business right now.
Think about
He's
it,
tough.
man. Now that's a black mind.
I understand why people are worried, but I don't know. I'm a bit like it's
I'm just apprehensive.
there's almost too little information to kind of predict that it's gonna not do well. We need to see how they build up to see what they
yeah.
we in the past we kind of knew what the Thanos thing was because it was there at the beginning, but everybody knows his face has been a bit of a mess. But if they land on their feet, people won't care anymore. So I think the next weeks are going to be really important to see where they actually set up this Doomsday Secret Wars thing. Because if they do the Secret Wars thing properly, then that's a reset. It's a reboot basically.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense considering where everything is at. But let's see.
I agree. I'm just nervous and a little hesitant. I just don't think they have enough time to do it. I don't think it doesn't feel well thought out. They've said it just feels like they've gone, you like these guys before, the Russo brothers, the person who wrote Infinity War and Endgame, and you like Robert Downey Jr. How could this go wrong? I'm not keen. I always prefer to go forward as opposed to get relics back from the past just because they worked. This ain't 2019 no more. It's that you have to try and tell different stories with different people, I feel. But hey, nostalgia pays. And not even let I just feel like also it's just not even let the dust really settle. But
We've got 2 minutes
we'll see.
left, that's just so that why.
Okay. Well, no one stays dead apart from Uncle Ben, it seems to be. So we'll see.
Anything else you want to lads quickly touch on before we go? But obviously, we ain't got a lot of time. So, final thoughts on anything? Vultures 2 is out, but I haven't listened to it.
Who?
What? Where? Vultures 2? When? Where?
It's out. It is out. It is on Spotify. I'm looking at it right now.
Oh,
lying.
that's a W. I can't believe you didn't know that.
It literally came
out
a few hours ago. But...
Okay.
Yeah.
What time?
Next week, amongst all the other shenanigans that have been going on. Kamala not being black or being black. I don't know. Who knows?
She's black.
I'm not black.
I'm
Bro,
Dominican.
it's not here, man. Oh, it's right here.
I'm just trying to get paid.
What a great song, by the way.
Downloaded.
That is. All right. Well, Main Chafford podcast, the Zoom version, baby. We'll be coming to you live and direct next time. Until next time, peace.
Out.
You can tell the people bye. We out.
Blessings.